call this one "The Liberals Have Lost the Future," featuring Alexander Dugin. This is News from 5D. I'm Otis 5D.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
All right, so in case you don't know, Alexander Dugin is kind of like the intellectual thought leader of Russia and Russian thought. A lot of people think of him as like Putin's, philosopher, so to speak. Xi Jinping also has one named Wang Huning. These are both incredibly important people to know. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitter, I ask that you follow me on Rumble because this is an excerpt of a larger stream. And blah, 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 follow, smash, all that shit that people say. So let's get down to it. So Alexander Dugin tweets. I love this tweet. It's so good. It's so concise. It's like Naval, right? But even more. The second coming of Trump wasn't possible in liberal dogma. Not twice. That is no more. I think it's supposed to say mere. I really think that's supposed to say mere. That is no mere short circuit nor black swan. It is like the end of Soviet system. I love how he doesn't say the Soviet system because it's so Soviet to not put the. It is like the end of Soviet system. Something impossible, overthrowing all precisions, predictions, plans, forecasts. The liberals have lost the future. It's so beautiful because my whole lifetime has been in the shadow of the liberals having control of the future. This is probably best epitomized with Francis Fukuyama's famous book, The End of History, kind of during the time of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, where after the fall of communism in the Soviet Union and America was like a unipolar power, and it just seemed like it was fucking Blue Jeans and Rambo for, the rest of eternity, and like the US dollar would forever reign supreme, and we'd all be happy in like a capitalist wonderland eating M&Ms and drinking Coca-Cola, and that's before. But then you know what happened, bro? They fucking bait and switched us. I'm going off the plantation right now. I wasn't planning on talking about this. Bro, they fucking bait and switched us. The Coca-Cola went from being like cane sugar and shit like that to fucking high fructose corn syrup and shit like that. Shit like that. If you know, you know. So they fucked everything, and that's basically like where we're at now is like the final hollowing out of liberalism, where liberalism like reveals itself to be this like gay race communism, as people say. Like it's so disgusting what it is now. It's like it's skins. It's like this. They wear a skin suit of liberalism while being the most fascistic people, since the fucking Nazis and Mussolini, where it's like a thought crime to not think how they think, because obviously if you're on the right side of history, you think how they think. And Mark Andreessen was just talking on the Chris Williamson podcast about Karl Popper's paradox of intolerance, which is the biggest influence on George Soros. And because Karl Popper has this idea called the Open Society, and George Soros's nonprofit is called the Open Society Foundation. So anyway, Karl Popper has this idea called the paradox of intolerance, which says that you have to tolerate everyone except the intolerant, because if you tolerate the intolerant, they will fucking intolerate your ass and they will grab power and then they will turn everything fascistic. So you have to make sure to be intolerant toward the intolerant. But what happened is that what we witnessed was like fucking severe mission creep, where suddenly like everyone that doesn't say the right things and post the right black square on Instagram on the right day and raise their fist at the right time and go, oh, so gross to the right people, was just like excommunicated, more or less. And like add the new privileged, oppressed group of the month to their, the groups that they, and then start pronouns, and then the fucking, what are they called? The land declarations. You have to say that, whose land you're originally on. So anyway, it's fucking broken. That shit is broken as fuck now. And the point, the proof that it's broken is that I'm making this video, because there are so many people now that are finally like, dude, I fucking disappeared from social media for years because it was like, this was all I wanted to talk about. And I was just like, dude, these fucking retards, they're just gonna lynch me, right? And now you can't, bitch. So back to dugin, let's read it again. The second coming of Trump wasn't possible in liberal dogma, not twice. This is no mere short circuit nor black swan. It is like the end of Soviet system, something impossible, overthrowing all precisions, predictions, plans, forecasts. The liberals have lost the future. So this really is, in a certain way, like the fall of the American empire. But that's not right, is it? Is it the American? I guess so, because you had the uniparty with the neocons and the neoliberals, and they all wanted war. And that's another story. But you have to remember that, like, the Soviets were prior to America being like a unipolar power, it was like a bipolar world. And that's the whole reason that third world countries exist. Like, the word exists is because it doesn't mean poor countries, it means unaligned countries. Forgive me if you already know all that stuff, but a lot of people don't. And so you have the first world of the U.S., of course, number one, America, the second world of the Soviet Union, and the third world of the unaligned people. So it was really like a neck and neck thing. And then the Soviets just all of a sudden collapsed, and most people who are alive today, like, they barely even know anything about this. But we're going through one of these right now. We're going through this like incredible realignment of consciousness in Western civilization, where for the first time, if you go to the right people, somebody's like, bitch, shut the fuck up, don't do that shit, don't go like, I like that person, fuck you. And people are like, wait, what? And then they look around for everybody to agree with them and like sick themselves on the person that's like, no, fuck you. And now other people are like, no, I agree with that person, don't do that shit, bro. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Whoa, wait, what the fuck? I thought we all knew how we were supposed to act, and now ain't nobody know how to act." And that's where we find ourselves at this moment in time, at the end of the year of our Lord 2024. And what comes next? I don't know. It's my honest opinion. What comes next is like first and foremost, it's like self-driving cars, humanoid robots, total AI in everything and everywhere, drones, total surveillance, both for good, for better, and for worse. And then maybe something like space aliens. I don't know. That part, I think so, but if I turn out to be wrong, I'm not going to be so shocked. But the world we're going into is so different from like this thing of like fucking what does liberalism mean to me? It means like Alanis Morissette and fucking like Sheryl Crow with the sun coming up over Santa Monica Boulevard. But now we know that when the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard, Puff Daddy's getting a fucking blowjob from a tranny, and then he fucking pays off the cops and runs to Barbados, right? So it's all decrepit and rotten in the liberal world order. And so I, for one, welcome our new regime, whatever it is, even if it's worse, because at least we're having real conversations right now, and we're not walking around being like fake phony fucks, because that's what I believe George Herbert Walker Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Obama, Biden, Kamala represent the most disgusting plastic fakeness basically in the history of humanity, like way more than Caligula. Everybody fucking loves to talk about Caligula. The cast of characters I just read are so disgustingly fake. Good riddance. Get the fuck out of here. Let's have real conversations. This is a revolution on the scale of the printing press, where real people can talk to other real people and come to their own conclusions, not this evil fucking satanic liberal media that just tells you what you have to think. Fuck you. Good riddance. Go fuck yourself. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.